All right, so I'm hooked up to the Vexus, heading down the highway, taking my boat to its new owner, and he's a friend of mine. His name's Chris, and he lives in Ohio. So we did a swap-a-roo. I drive the boat all the way to him to Ohio.
Speed check reported ahead on Will Rogers Turnpike East.
And I get to hunt. I get to bow hunt a few days, and he's got some incredible farms up there to bow hunt. Super excited, so I'm going to Ohio, dropping off my Vexus boat to him, and gonna do another do-it-yourself bow hunt. Just like I did in Iowa, I'm gonna try to do it in Ohio. I don't know, I only have a few days this time. I don't have 2 weeks like I did in Iowa, but I'm excited to get there. So I'm gonna drive a good portion of the drive this evening, get about 8 hours in, and I'm gonna finish the drive tomorrow, and hopefully I'll be in a tree stand tomorrow afternoon. So let's see what happens. I think the bucks are like running around right now. It's November 7th. So yeah, they're running around. Oh man. 5:30 in the morning. Slept at McDonald's. Yep. Got I don't know, got about 9 hours knocked out. And I only got a few hours left, so planned this strategically. Wake up, get a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, coffee, milk, hash brown, finish the drive, get there pretty early, and got to notarize the titles and stuff, give him the boat, and then it's all hunting. So looking forward to it. Just bought my Ohio non-resident license right before I started this video. I'm still really sleepy, but I got my license and everything purchased, so I'm ready to hunt. And but I'm gonna have some breakfast first. Let's finish this drive. Let's get to Ohio. Woohoo! All right, so made it to the hotel room. Went and got my Walmart groceries, got water, got breakfast stuff, chips, stuff to make PB&Js and turkey sandwiches, and I've got crackers here for snacks when I'm hunting. Probably gonna do some all-day hunts, I don't know. Forecast, really warm for Ohio right now. It's like 58, 60. Cold front's coming. It's gonna be in the 20s within a couple days. Blowing really, really strong winds right now. About to finally go meet with Chris and start talking about a game plan where I'm going to be going. So I don't know if I only have like 3 or 4 days to do this. So don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to fill as much of it as I can. Trying to get it done with a bow in like 4 days here in Ohio. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm excited to give it a whirl. And excited for this wind to calm down. It's blowing like 30 miles an hour. So let's see how it goes. All right, so met up with Chris, and it was really fast and furious. We did the boat swap, the whole nine. He drove me out here. I went by several of his farms. Here's the kicker. He's got some of the most amazing looking farms I've ever seen. I'm talking like, I get so excited that I'm gonna maybe get to go hunt this farm, and then he tells me, but you can't hunt that farm because I have paying customers coming in a few weeks, and I just leave it completely alone for them. So I got to see some of the most amazing places. I'm talking like cut corn, being cut right now, cut beans, hills, valleys, bedding, insulated bedding areas where the deer are gonna love, oak flats, like just deer heaven. I can't hunt them. Now, I do get to hunt a couple places that look pretty darn good to me. I'm pretty excited about it. A lot of deer travel, a lot of deer signs, scrapes everywhere. If you've never hunted Ohio, this is what I've picked up so far. There's a lot more hills in Ohio compared to Oklahoma. It's pretty flat in most places. A lot of hills in Ohio. The farm roads go up and down, so much so that if you stop to look in a field for deer, you might get T-boned, or you might get rear-ended by a farmer or somebody coming over the top of the road. The bucks are scraping everywhere. Every edge I walked, I saw a scrape about every 50 yards on the edge of everything. And it doesn't matter if it's 5 foot off the road. These creeks run underneath the road and culverts, and there's just scrapes everywhere. So I figure a lot of that is nocturnal. But if there's that much buck sign, they're on their feet doing stuff. So I set up a couple of Tacticams, put them out on a couple of scrapes. Again, there were scrapes everywhere. I didn't know which one to do. I figure you get one, you get them all. there is a couple stands already hung. In the morning, I'm probably just going to get up like 2 hours before daylight and go crawling one of those. Everything here is kind of on the food source, so if you're going to hunt in the mornings, then you're probably going to booger yourself up a little bit. But I've only got a few days, so I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to try to get in there really, really early where it's really dark, and maybe that's going to help less booger them, or maybe they'll come back out and eat a little bit. But I've got a lot of cornfields that aren't cut yet. They're probably full of deer. As those get cut, the deer sightings are probably going to get better. But that's that. And now I'm going to go eat dinner without Miranda, but I'm going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. And if you don't know, that's where Miranda and I met. We got married with a whole bunch of, we call them B-Dub crews. And our B-Dub friends all came to our wedding. And so now I'm going to go there. We haven't been to a B-Dubs in years, so Miranda might get mad at me for going by myself. Let's try to cross the street from the hotel. So that's where we're headed. All right, guys, it is morning one here for my trip in Ohio. I'm not in a tree stand. I've thought about it really long, hard last night. I don't have any stands I've set myself. I only know where 3 stands are. I didn't crawl in any of them. I looked at them from afar. They looked like there was a good chance squirrels had chewed up the bow rope. I don't know if they have a bow holder when I get up in them. And I just didn't want to go in an hour and a half before daylight in the dark, climb a tree I've never climbed before, and find out potentially a bunch of unknowns that would frustrate me or might make it even dangerous. So I decided to stay home. It was really, really hard. I did put 2 cameras out last night on active scrape, so I'm getting a little bit of recon, and I'll show you here. I got the fastest way to show you. But I do have the first buck that showed up on camera. You can see I'm getting some activity on these scrapes for sure. You know, there's this 8-pointer here, and he's with some does. Definitely not a shooter. I've got a handful of non-shooters that have showed themselves. Obviously that one, not a shooter, but the very first deer that came on camera last night, 10:30 at night, it's that guy. That guy right there, he, I don't know, he's borderline. Definitely borderline. Definitely want to see that deer in person and make a decision on that. Looks like another 145 to 155 class 10-pointer, and great buck. But I'll be honest, Chris sent me some pictures of some other deer on the other farm that I put a camera on as well. There's some old bucks over there, and their racks aren't that impressive, but one of them, the rack is really impressive, and I don't have any way to show that to you because it's on my phone. But I can drop it in on this video. So he's got really, really awesome G3s that like curl and come up, and then at the end he's got these crab claws, and he's just got tons of character. Old buck. And then there's another old buck that's really trash rack, to be honest, but he's got a big old Roman nose, big old neck, drooping shoulders. He's an old deer. And so if you can't tell, the weather outside's really crummy. It's like, well, it's overcast. I actually kind of like it because it's not hot, but the wind is howling. You can see that American flag over here, and I'm chilling in Quality Inn, America, and yeah, that's what it looks like. I think I got myself in the shower this morning. I'm gonna put on my camo here in a second. I just went out there and got me a free waffle and what they call an apple juice, and don't taste like apple juice, but it's came out of an apple juice machine or something. But I'm gonna go on out there and creep my way out, have my bow in hand, take bow ropes, take bow holders, might stay out afar if there's still deer out in the cut soybean, but I suspect they're all in the standing corn. And I may crawl up into the tree, 10 o'clock this morning and not get down. Might make me a couple sandwiches before I go in case I do that. But that's day one here in Ohio. It is November 9th. Cold snap's coming, like tonight, tomorrow. So these pictures, it's 66 degrees when that buck walked in. So right now I think it's 58, but that wind right there is northwest. So here comes the cold. So let's get out in the woods. to as the lodge. Back there is we got one of the stands and the corn feeder. I think you can see the feeder, I think, right there. That's it. That's what we're looking at. So we're out here at one of the places we can hunt. We only got 2 spots we can really hunt that I think are gonna be good. This spot here has a corn feeder, tons of corn, which is great. But from my experience, your big mature deer, they get used to those feeders and they skirt the edges of them, especially during daylight hours. So once the rut gets going, you know, they make stupid mistakes. But right now, the rut's probably just about to start. There's a nice hang-on stand right up here. Can't see it, but I just got up in there and I doctored it up. Got a bow rope hung in there. There's a really good tower blind right back there for gun season, but ton of deer sign in here. I'm sure there's a bunch of does and young bucks that would show themselves here. I've also got a cornfield right here, and then there's a whole bunch of standing corn over there. I'm actually about to walk this edge toward that standing corn just to kind of see. My gut tells me if I can get back there where the standing corn is right now, that's where all the deer, and this is a huge block of woods. They bed in here and they're probably going back and forth out there to that standing corn right now. So if I can get in between them, could be really good. I'm gonna sneak over there and just see if that's feasible. I don't want to booger this spot up. I'm just gonna stay on the edge and just kind of eyeball. It's a beautiful country over here. People have awesome places to hunt deer in Ohio. There's no doubt about it. All right. Well, I didn't go all the way. I could tell it was not gonna work out, but I found an area about halfway down there. Looked really good. I'm gonna keep looking for it. I only got one stand of my own to hang. I'm gonna look a little bit more on the other side. But I did put a bunch of Megalo deer feed right there and a camera up just to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is still a big buck coming out here daylighting by this feeder, but if there is, I need to know it because I've already got a stand here and it's good to go. So, dude, it feels deery today. It's like 9:30 in the morning and it's just overcast and that cold front's coming. Look at this rub right here. There's just so much deer sign. I don't know what the deer per acre is over here. I didn't think it was nothing too crazy, but the amount of deer sign is crazy. I'm just walking around, you know, and you can see this trail right here, and this rub right here. And that's a pretty good size rub. Yeah, so this is all cut corn. It seems kind of silly to put out corn anywhere because there's so much standing corn. You've got corn, I mean, there's corn everywhere. Why are they gonna come to your little corn pile? I don't know. I wouldn't come to your corn pile when I got thousands of acres of corn to eat on. Alright, this is fun. Let's keep looking. See. is his property right here to the right of the truck. Finger ties in over there. There's a home over there. Home across the street here. This is the little finger right here that I can hunt. That stands pretty much right in there. And yeah, that's what we got. Cut beans. And, oh, there's a deer. There's a deer right out there right now. There's a deer out there right now. Oh, turning red. God, just found this deadhead. Looked like one of his horns might have fallen off before he died. Definitely a mature deer. All his bones are right here. He died right here. Alright, I'm up in the tree. I am way up in the tree. Got my safety harness on. I'm probably 30 foot up in the air. There was a bunch of does bedded in here when I got in here to check this spot, but it's 11:30, it's early. I'm sitting in this little skinny finger that kind of cuts the corner off this section of land, but then it's got a nice drainage swell that feeds into this massive block of timber. This timber's got elevation change. It's got steady going off over here. It's got corn, cut beans all around us. It's just a place that holds a ton of deer. I've got a nice active scrape over there. That's where that 10-pointer was I showed you this morning. After watching the videos of him, he's a pretty good deer. He's probably not as old as he needs to be. So, I don't know if I'd shoot him or not. It'd be hard to pass him. But there's rubs all over the place in here. There's probably 8 or 9 does bedded in here, which is not ideal. But it's early. Hopefully they come on out. And we get it done here in Ohio. I'm pretty excited. about 4:45. We got an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, there's another deer coming right here. There's a buck working that edge over there. He's little. There's another deer coming right here. All right, we're back at the Quality Inn. Beautiful lighting here. What an awesome, awesome hunt that was. Like, I have no idea how many deer I saw. It had to be north of 30, 40, 50. I really don't know. They were running around like crazy. I couldn't hardly film what was going on because there were bucks like this one. Like that's there. That I watched that buck make that scrape. He was running around like crazy, and I didn't know whether he was a shooter or not. This deer ended up coming right underneath my stand after shooting light, right after he made this scrape. Actually, you can see there's a little bit of light left in the background then. But I watched him make that scrape, and that's like 40, 50 yards away from me. And he came in and walked right under my stand. He's a beautiful 8-pointer. Not gonna shoot him. He can walk by me any day of the week. He's gets a pass, but he's a really good deer. And I saw 2 really good 8-pointers tonight. They were both similar to that one, but that big one, good heavens, that big one right off the bat, I'm even talking like 1 p.m. comes in and is the only deer that I think winded me. The wind switched for a minute and blew really hard out of the west. And I was looking at that deer with my binoculars, and I know you can't see it very good with the iPhone video, but that deer's bases, like when he was coming through the creek, I was looking at my binoculars before I ever started recording. As soon as I saw his bases, like they're huge. Like you ain't getting your hand around them, and they're touching, and they've got good tall eye guards, but he's got like 3 and 4 inch stickers and junk all off of them. So anytime I see an old buck like that, that's got roughage for days and big stickers and kickers and his bases almost touch, I'm already shooting it. Like I shoot old deer, and that was an old deer. And he did the big buck thing. He knew something wasn't right, and he turned and he just waddled his big butt back across that field. Other than that, I did not see any of the shooters tonight. But I'm excited to see what happens on that scrape. That one's hitting. They seem to be all over it. But I had some awesome footage tonight. I guess you've already seen it. That deer stayed in the water. That deer was obsessed with the water. That doe loved the water for almost 2 hours. She stayed in the creek and played in it, essentially. She took baths. She dunked for apples. She bobbed for acorns down there at the bottom or something. I don't know what she was doing, but she was swinging her head through it, stomping, digging, rolling. Like, there were so many times she was playing so hard, I thought she was just going to fall over on her side and just lay in it. But she stayed in the water for 2 hours. In fact, she was there when I got down, and I heard her get out of the water and leave. Like, I've never seen a deer that wanted to live in the water, like, at all. Anyway, aqua deer. Anyway, excited. Tomorrow I can't hunt that stand again, though. I've got the wrong wind. It's a little southerly direction to it, so I can't hunt that. And I left my camera arm in that tree, so I'm not going to be able to film very good, but we're going to go hunt the other set with the corn feeder in the morning and kind of play it by ear and see what's going on there. But that's it. That's it. Let's get back to hunting Ohio in the morning.